Have you been slowly stewing, like in a slow cooker or a crock pot? Slowly cooking away, getting hotter and hotter under the collar. Before you throw in the towel and get up and leave what you're doing now, watch this. This is the Midlife in a Minute. Hi, I'm the Midlife Guy and welcome back to Midlife in a Minute. And today we're talking about people who are sitting and stewing away in midlife, getting sicker and sicker of the life that they're living to a point where you're very close to wanting to just chuck it all in and doing something radical and then moving away. So in the wintertime, we love to use the slow cooker. I've got a big family, got a lot of kids to feed, and it's great to put a big chunk of meat into the slow cooker with vegetables and all the stuff that are going to make up the gravy and just leave it to cook all day. And then at the end of the day, you've got a meal ready to go. But that's not so good when you're in midlife and you've got a job that you're just doing and going day after day, but you hate it. You feel dead inside. Or relationships that aren't what you expected. Your relationship with your wife or your husband is just meandering along and it's not providing you with what you expect, and you're just stuck. Or relationships with other people, maybe it's extended family or whatever it is, but you just had enough and you just feel like giving up and just running away. I get it. And today we're going to talk about that and some things that maybe to think about before you pull the trigger on running. So why might you want to run away? Well, you feel alone. You've just had enough. You know that there's more to life than this. You know you've got more to give than what you're giving right now, and you want to be able to do that. You're aware of time is ticking past. You're getting older, and you're seeing your youth slipping away, and you're desperate to make something meaningful of your life. So these can all be reasons as to bring together as to why you want to run, but running really seldom solves the problem. And I'll give you 3 reasons why running away may not solve the problem in your case. Firstly, it can distract you from what the real problems are, and therefore what the solutions are. So easy to just run and pack up and go, but like the guy who's always got the bad neighbours, wherever he moves, he's got bad neighbours everywhere. The problems follow him around. And so it's very common for us to get up and run, but then find that we're in the same situation in a new place. After a period, maybe a honeymoon period, but in a new place, we've got the same problems because they've followed you as well. Because a large chunk of the problem is actually within you. And that needs to be resolved. Some of those things need to be faced up to before you're actually going to resolve the deeper issues. So running does not solve your problems because it's a good chance you're going to take your problems with you. Then secondly, running away is focusing on things that you can't control rather than what you can control. There are always levers you can pull in your life. There are always things that you can change, but there are also levers that you can't pull that aren't within your power to control. Things like what other people say, what other people do, the things that are happening around in the world, that are the environment. There are things that we can't control. And if we try to run to get away from those things, then we're not going to solve our problem. We need to look for the levers that we can change. What are the levers that we can pull that are going to change? They're going to make the big impacts in our lives. We can pull a lot of little levers and maybe make some little changes, but we can often be neglecting the big levers which are actually going to make the biggest impact, which have the biggest flexibility to make changes in our lives. So I challenge you to look for the things that you can control. Separate the things you can control in your life from the things that you can't control, and look at what changing each one of those is going to have in terms of impact on your life. And then the third thing is that, and again related to that, to what you can control, is what's inside you, what you think, what you feel, your emotions, what you say, what you do. You are the only one who has control over those things. And you are the only one that can pull those levers. No one can force you to think anything. No one can force you to say or do or feel anything. Those are all levers that are interrelated. They affect one another. And those are levers that you can pull in your life. And the big one of those is what we're thinking about, because what we think drives our emotions, which drives what we say and what we do. And so if you're thinking the wrong things to you every single day, then that is going to have a negative impact on your life, and is going to make the environment that you're living in seem much worse than it really is. So those are 3 things to think about. Firstly, that running away is not going to solve your problems, because you'll probably take them with you. Secondly, that you need to look at the levers that you can control that are going to make the biggest impact in your life. And then thirdly, what is it that you're thinking about? Are you thinking and telling yourself negative stuff each and every day that are then driving negative emotions, negative words, and negative actions? Or can you switch your thinking around to think about, what are the opportunities here? How can I make some changes? It's not just about positive. It's not about positive thinking and thinking things are all okay when they're not, but it's about transformation of your thinking, renewing of your mind, so that you have the mental mindset to be able to adjust your actions and take action. So where do you start? It's all very well to say, well, change your thinking, but how do I change my thinking? Well, there's 3 things that you can start with here that will help. And the first one of those is to gain a greater awareness about yourself. Use a diary to jot down what it is that you're saying to yourself each day. What sort of thoughts are you having that you need to challenge? Because when we just have these thoughts that come into our head and we don't challenge them, and they just go back into our subconscious, they become part of our beliefs about ourselves and about others. So we need to have a growing awareness of what we are saying and what we're thinking about ourselves. And it's a broader picture of who we are as a person. Also, what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, what our habits are. Bring together an accurate picture of who you are right now. You really need to have that accurate picture for the next step, and that's really thinking about, well, what future do I want? Okay, I'm in a hole right now. I don't like what I'm doing. I don't like my life right now. But we need to have some sort of vision about what it is that we want to go to. What do I want my life to be like in the areas that matter to you? Maybe it's your work, your relationships, your mental health, your physical health, your faith or spirituality. What do you want all those things to look like? You're here, you want to be here. You need to have an accurate picture of here before you can go to here. But then there's a process of designing actions to take you to where you want to go. And then the third piece of that is relationships. Relationships are so important. We cannot do anything alone. We need to have professional relationships. We need to have close relationships. We need to have an inner circle, and we need to have wider ones. And so we need to bring others in to the challenges that we're facing. That may seem hard to do because you've had hurts in the past. You've had times when people have maybe let you down in your eyes before. And it's difficult to be vulnerable and to open up. But there is no going forward in any meaningful way unless you are able to have a commitment to build relationships to other people. So these are 3 major steps forward. 1, grow your awareness of yourself. 2, vision. What do you want to go? Where do you want to go? What do you want your life to look like? You wake up in 5 years or 10 years' time, tell me specifically, what do you want your life to look like? And then thirdly, relationships. You need to be building relationships with other people. So here's my question for today. When you look at your current situation, have you been predominantly looking outside and looking at the people around you, or your environment, or your work, or your boss, or the political system? Have you been, or the church, or wherever it is, have you been looking at that and thinking that's primarily where your problem is? If only we had a different government. If only we had a different prime minister or president. If only I had more money. If only I had a more understanding wife or husband. If only I had better behaved kids. If only I had a God who was more involved in my life. If only. Are you looking outside of yourself and looking at those things and wishing that they were different? Because wishing those things are different is not gonna bring you out of your hole. You need to look at the levers that you can control. What are the things that you can do to make changes in your life? So tell me, what are the things that you've been looking outside at and thinking, well, if that changes, then my life will be amazingly better. And if you're bold, write down in the comment, what are the things that you need to maybe look at inside you, the levers that you actually can control that need a change, that you need to work on. Put those comments in the questions below, And as always, if you like this video, then click the like button and share it with your friends, others in midlife who would benefit from this lesson today. So thanks for watching. I'm the Midlife Guy. This has been Midlife in a Minute. If you have a question, I'm only a comment away. If you found this video helpful, then hit the like button and share it with your friends. And make sure you subscribe, as I'm putting up new stuff each week to help you make midlife the turning point in a life worth living. Need a personalised guide? Your own coach through life and career is only a few clicks away over at GuyMullenCoaching.com. Thanks for watching. See you soon.